Hello, this is Andrew from Collaborative Learning. Today's book is The Abundance of Less. Lessons in Simple Living from Rural Japan. If you like my work, please like it, subscribe to this channel, check the playlists, and support me on Patreon and PayPal. The links to Patreon and PayPal are included in the description to this video. First, I'll describe the contents of the book, talk about what's interesting about it, then I'll move on to what you can get out of it. Andy Couturier is an environmentalist, journalist, essayist, poet, and writing teacher. He lived in Japan for 4 years, where he profiled 11 men and women of rural Japan. These people have something in common. They left the mainstream capitalistic world to make a transition to sustainable, fulfilling lives in the mountains. They are artists, philosophers, and farmers. They are very different from ordinary people, yet they manage to have very high-quality lives. They are surrounded by nature, farming, creative work, intellectual work, friendship, and an abundance of free time. At the core, they draw their lifestyle from what they know from Eastern spiritual wisdom and culture, particularly those of Buddhism and India. These people have profound personal transformations as they escape the stress, consumerism, busyness, and dependence on technology of modern life to forge new higher quality lives based on these insights and principles. This intimate book tells of their fulfilling lives as artists, philosophers, and farmers who rely on themselves for happiness and subsistence. By inviting readers to enter the essence of these individuals' days, these 11 people show us how we too can bring more meaning and richness to our own lives. Among these individuals are environmentalists and homeschooler who explores Christian mysticism while raising her 2 daughters in an old farmhouse. One is an ex-petroleum engineer who has become a painter, artist, musician, and children's book illustrator. Another grows rice and crafts beautiful bamboo flutes that he plays for alms in surrounding villages. Another is a fine artist and fabric dyer who runs a Himalayan-style curry restaurant in the Japanese Alps. And there's an ex-college professor that is now a farmer. There are many commonalities among these interviews. These people refuse to prioritize getting a job done in the least possible amount of time, with the least possible amount of money. They also refuse to do something because it pays a lot more. They value freedom over efficiency. They value time and the power of choice and deeply consider whether or not the work or activity they are doing is fulfilling and right for them. They want to be comfortable and casual while doing activities and work and satisfied that this is exactly what they want to do. One man says, "We all live with contradictions. You have to decide which contradictions you can abide with and which you cannot. For me, what cannot be tolerated are the things that threaten the miracle of life itself." Because they value the quality of their life so much, they don't join corporations, associations, and groups that they aren't interested in. They don't like capitalism and they don't like the corporate world because they dislike being controlled and forced to do tasks they consider related to producing fairly meaningless goods and services. They don't spend their time relating entirely to things that are made solely for the purpose of keeping the economy moving or making money for someone. They don't want their true way of thinking to get shackled because of group pressures and orders. They don't want to give up their lives to their bosses and big shots. They want to be free. They don't want to be too busy. If they're too busy, they might rush and make mistakes, and at the same time overlook something magnificent and splendid, like a rare mushroom in the forest. Someone with time can write a haiku or can appreciate flowers. They have space in their emotions to look at the moon or the stars. They're not too busy working or making money. Those people who don't have free time are not living freely and not living fully and have lost a lot. An observation they have is when people get a little bit of wealth and power, their egos get corrupted with greed and they start feeling superior and miss the real meaning of life. So one observes that even though capitalistic culture is advanced in certain areas, there's a great cost to maintain it. The beauty of the great pyramids of Egypt and the greatness of Rome required slaves to build all those great buildings of stone. The greatness was achieved but at a severe human cost. So they have the view that the powerful, high-tech, and fashionable is not necessarily the best. Because people live in the present, they get alienated from what happened last year, and even more so than what happened 100 years ago. If people only applied the blunt instrument of fashionable progress to the making of choices about their lives, they sever their connection to the challenges of the past that has been tempered over many hundreds of generations. We disinherit ourselves from these ancient and intricate understandings, ancient wisdoms that are timeless and essential but are forgotten as we are too caught up with what's popular right now. The right answer to this dilemma is one that cross-fertilizes the past and present. By doing so, preserves the essence and sensibility of the traditional way. You blend what you like from the old days with what you like about the modern life right now. You pick and choose and create your own life based on what's best for you. A key insight of the interviewees is that modern people are alienated at the level of their soul and spirit. They value making arts and crafts to reconnect themselves to a life of meaning and satisfaction. They want to expand their powers of imagination and creativity. They don't want to be restricted to just the real world, which is limited. So a craftsperson's job is half meditation, half creation. It takes creativity to design whatever you are working on, but it takes meditation to do it right. Making things with one's own hands cultivates a certain generosity and openness of the heart. It nourishes that state of mind in the craftspersons themselves, which is intimately connected with the entire way of life. So they always ask themselves this question: why is it I, as a human, am alive? They want to do what they really want to do and to die with no regrets. With their creativity and imagination always at play, their minds expand. For the people interviewed, the modern world has created a culture extremely rich in technologies that remove us from our physical bodily awareness. We are at the same time in danger of losing awareness of our hearts and our spirits. So they value the relations with their family and the people around them. Relating to their hearts and emotions is important. They also enjoy being surrounded on all sides by the inconvenience of the countryside, living and learning to enjoy the extra manual labor for a living. Rural self-sufficiency is hard work, but has enormous spiritual rewards. For a former college professor who is now a farmer, he finds that the process of growing vegetables, harvesting them, and cooking them connects him to the earth and the source of great meaning. It's the quality of being here and now. Also, the interviewees find that lifestyle is a continuous negotiation that must include a continual returning to their values and a re-examination of whether or not we are holding them as strongly as we are able to. An authentic and truly meaningful life. These Japanese men and women have learned to live lightly upon the earth, with as little money as possible, and with abundance of time. Having time allows them to grow their own food, revel in the beauty of nature, pursue creative endeavors, and contemplate the meaning of life and death, and the mysteries of the universe. This is an absolutely wonderful book that I would recommend to everyone. It is very insightful and has the power to transform someone. When I first read this book years ago, my mind was blown and it caused significant changes in my life. It clarified wrong activities and wrong mental attitudes within me that were unproductive and lowering the quality of my life. The pearls of wisdom hidden in these chapters hit me in the face. I strongly believe that many people will experience something similar, as a lot of the insights here are not intuitive and can come across as a shock. It came as a surprise to me that we, with full self-knowledge, can have our own measures of success in our lives rather than external measures imposed to us by popular society. This is the superior and more efficient way. When we leave behind the tremendous burdens of wage labor, debt, stress, and daily busyness, we grow rich in a whole new way. These highly artistic and intellectual Japanese are pioneers in this sense. By drawing on traditional Eastern spiritual wisdom, they have forged a new style of modern life And in their success is a lesson for us all. Live a life that matters. We don't have to copy their innovation and cleverness, but we can be inspired to examine and alter our lives, to be more consistent with goodness and the way we naturally are. To sum things up, this book is a must-read for those who want a more fulfilling life. It is beautifully written, and the reader feels like a fly on the wall, observing and learning from these unusual people. I rate it a 5 out of 5. So that's what I think about The Abundance of Less, Lessons on Simple Living from Rural Japan. Please put your thoughts and ideas in the comment section. They always make a great conversation. I hope you find my review to be informative. Thanks for watching.